right, so happy to finally just take a few minutes to answer some more of the replies to my clobber question. My clobber question, it's a video that I posted earlier. Look it up. It's kind of fun. You might dig it if you're an animal rights activist because it's a really easy question to use when you are not a Christian and you're dealing with other Christians who eat meat, because you don't have to know a whole lot of Bible stuff to use it. So that's why it's just so popular, and I'm so happy people are getting such, activists are getting such great responses with it. But I got some people complaining in the comments or questioning it and criticizing it. So let's just read one right now. I got, let's see, BL1STR3R. You say, do you vegan guys even know how many animals die harvesting your planty stuff? He's talking like me, your planty stuff. I kind of like that. Nice writing, Mr. BL or Miss BL or whatever. Okay, then it says a whole lot. And it says it in capital letters, so I know you're like really upset. Or you really want to make a point. Okay, just so you can eat your carrots and stuff. Just eat and let good people live. All right. So let's start out. We vegans hear this a lot. And this is what's known as crop deaths. Okay, that's the argument from crop death, saying that we eat plants and animals will accidentally die in harvesting those plants. The first mistake I think you're making, BL1, is that vegans claim that the vegan diet is perfect. We don't. We live in a fallen world, especially us Christians believe such, that there's going to be death regardless. We can't get away from it. So the goal would be to cause as little death as humanly possible, to cause as little suffering as humanly possible. I don't want to kill a mosquito, but I'm not going to take a chance of getting malaria. All right, that's probably not going to happen, but you get the idea. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So I think if you come to a better understanding of what vegan is, okay, it's not just a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's an ethical stance to cause the least amount of harm to animals as possible. Also, as a Christian, that's how I get my veganism, is that it's not just to animals, but it's to all mankind. I try to do as little as possible. I know I can't avoid it. I know I'm going to kill bugs when I drive my car, but that doesn't mean I'm going to purposely run over a squirrel crossing the road. So now let's get into accidental and purposeful. It says, do you know how many animals die for your harvesting? Well, let's try and, I'm going to use my not to scale measurements again. All right. It takes this much plants to feed the billions of animals that are in animal agriculture for humans to eat. Okay? A cow eats a heck of a lot more plant food than I do. Actually, probably more than my whole family does. So, if it takes this much, that means there's this much accidental crop death to feed purposeful animal death. Cows, chickens, pigs, turkeys, whatever it is you eat. So not only do you have this much crop death if you're a meat eater, you're also responsible for this much purposeful death. And then chances are your artery's going to get clogged from all the cholesterol, and then human death. So, all right, I just threw that in because I'm a jerk like that. So now let's look at the vegans. It takes this much accidental crop death because we're not feeding 80, 90 billion land animals just to make this much meat. No, we're just eating it directly. So we're only doing this much, really. Come on, we're vegans. We're 2% of the population. It's not even this. It's more like this much. See? And then we could free up approximately 70% of the land in America that's used to grow crops, to feed to livestock. We could eliminate that completely just to feed humans. Actually, if we took a portion of that 70%, just in America, we could feed humans around the world. We could end world hunger. So, you see, if you know those things, you might feel differently about what you wrote. I don't know if you know it. Look, take what I just said, go look it up, and I think you might, I'm sure you're a good guy. You probably just don't know these facts, so go find them out And maybe you might change your mind about what you had to say. So where it says vegans, so vegans definitely do not hurt any more. No, that wasn't you. Just eat and let good people live. Well, now that's the last thing you wrote. And I got to say, what do you consider a good person? And that brings me back to my clobber question that I originally asked. What is a good person? A good person, or in my case, the way I phrased it in my clobber question, a Christian, if a Christian has a choice of food that comes from violence or not violence, from suffering and pain or not suffering and pain, from compassion and mercy or death. What would a good person, what would a Christian, or as you're asking, what would a good person choose? You got a choice. You got a choice that our generation has, that for the last few hundred years has. You go back into Jesus' time, they didn't have a choice. A fish might have been their only option. We have a choice. It's up to you to make the right choice and to avoid suffering if you can. All right, that was me just shooting it off the cuff there. Let's go look at the